On April 21st, 2025, the Bishop of Rome, Pope Francis, died, and the world grieved his sudden passing.
Oye, ¿sabías que se murió el Papa hoy?
¿En serio? ¿Qué no había una profecía de Nostradamus?
¿Y qué decía?
Algo como que se va a acabar el mundo, algo así. No sé.
And suddenly, a passing thought in a conversation stuck to me. A prophecy about the world ending once the Pope died? What would that even be like? Now, the prophecy in question wasn't by Nostradamus, actually, but rather by St. Malachi, an archbishop in Ireland in the 1100s. According to the Eternal World Television Network, EWTN, a Catholic media outlet with some affiliation to the Vatican, St. Malachi made a visit to Rome in which he had a vision of the future popes and wrote them down. The prophecy itself consists of a list of 112 short phrases, enigmatic mottos in Latin that are supposed to represent the popes from St. Malachi's time onward. The mottos are believed by some to predict the succession of Catholic popes, concluding with the final pope referred to as Peter the Roman. The next to last motto in the prophecy of the popes has been associated with Pope Benedict XVI, who resigned the papacy in 2013 and died at the end of 2022. The election of Pope Francis as his successor brings us to the last name in the prophecy of the popes, which many have taken to indicate the final pope at the end of the world. Peter the Roman, who will nourish the sheep in many tribulations. When they are finished, the city of 7 hills will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge his people. The end. Although the Vatican hasn't actually approved of any of these revelations, and there is a lot of evidence that goes against its validity, this idea of the world ending when the Pope died really just stuck with me. And when I say stuck with me, I mean I have been obsessing over this idea for the past year. Very quickly, that natural sense of existential dread kind of tried to make a home in my soul and just sit there for a while. But very quickly, I found myself regurgitating it, and I found it climbing up and into my mind, and it just started to burn a hole of if the world really was going to end. I mean, I don't even know what I would do differently, if how I would react given the news. But if the world really were to end, what would everybody else do? What would this world look like? And so, what started out as a curiosity within myself very quickly branched off into a curiosity of what is everybody else's idea on this? Like, what is everybody else's perspective? What would other people do differently? And so this summer, I had an incredible opportunity to travel across 5 states and meet so many interesting, beautiful people that some were strangers, and some very quickly became some friends I will consider friends for the rest of my life. And so naturally, when it comes to meeting new people, I want to connect with them. And so I did what I have never done before, and I asked them to participate in this project of mine. And I asked them the question: what would you do differently if the world really were to end in 2 years? Which is kind of crazy. I don't know why I jumped to 2 years, considering the fact that the prophecy itself doesn't even have a timeline, but I did. And this was their answers.
If you knew that the world was ending in 2 years, or that your life was ending in 2 years, what would you change about your life? What would you do differently?
I feel like what I would do differently is kind of what I'm doing now. Because a couple years ago, I thought I might die. And I got sick. And it was like a heart condition thing, and it was scary. And they didn't know for a second. It wasn't too long that they didn't know, but there was like, especially the day the hospital called me. Or I had gone to urgent care. And they did a blood test, and my blood test showed that I had like a heart attack or something. So they called me and were like, you need to go to the hospital immediately. And I was like, what? And I just as on my way to the hospital and like that night in the hospital and stuff, I had no idea like what was going on. Like I thought maybe I had like some kind of terminal illness or something. I don't know. You know, your brain just goes all places. And in that moment, I wasn't really happy with what I was doing. Like I was in school and I did have a lot of cool things going on, but I wasn't fulfilled and I didn't have a sense of direction. And I just remember being really upset at the thought of dying in that moment and feeling dissatisfied with the life I've been living. And I was like, I need to change how I'm doing things. And my first thought was like, I'm dropping out of school. And after I started feeling better, I did leave school. Like I took a year off. And that's when I started playing music more and painting more and just doing what I'm passionate about. And I feel like that's what I want to continue to do, is to make my art, to try new things, to be open-minded. And it's less so something I want to change as much as something I want to continue. Because I feel like that moment where I was like, oh, I could die at any time already happened. And now it's just I know that, and every day I think about it to some degree, that it could be my last day. And it was Steve Jobs who said, like, you should wake up each morning and, like, think about if it was your last day living, would you be happy or not? And I thought about that a lot when I was sick, and I think about it now still, too. And it's like, I would be pretty happy if I was to, like, get eaten by a bear in 2 minutes, because I feel like I've done something. And I'm doing something. But I really want to live a long life. Like, I want to be, both my great-grandmothers lived to be 102. And I want to be 102 and, like, just climb to the top of a mountain and just stay there and die. And I say I'll fly away. Like, I want to turn into a bird there and fly away. But God has his own plan, so I'm just here for the ride.
This could sound really, 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 really religious, but then I'll probably just like let people know, like, okay, so like in my belief, it's like we believe in second coming, and so like I'm not gonna force people to be like, oh my gosh, you're going to hell. Like, no, that's just be like, oh yeah, BTW guys. My religion, we believe that the end times are coming, and that if you just honestly live your life. And I don't want to say in the principles of Jesus, because it's like horrible, because some people misinterpret that. Just be good to other people. Just do right. Like, make peace with your relatives. Just do good, you know? That's all I want to do. Just let people know, like, you know, Jesus is coming again. Love other people, please. Please treat people with kindness, because why not? Love people regardless of race, gender, citizenship, etc. And then probably just travel more. Like, I still always wanted to go to Switzerland. Always wanted to go to Dubai. So I can actually splurge on, instead of like buying cars and stuff, splurge on like a luxury resort. Or go to a spa. Why would you do that? Well, might as well. Why buy a luxury bag when it's literally gonna blow up? At least you can say you were, you know, well.
What would I do differently? I think I would first try to see how many people I can get to come with me and escape into the wild.
Okay.
I would get like a group of friends if they're willing, and if they're willing to like abandon, you know, their livelihoods and stuff like that. But 2 years is a long time. Actually, no, it's plenty of time. And I would see who wants to relocate and go into some unknown territory. Well, probably known, but like, you know, just live off the land. Start a little commune and live in peace for the next 2 years. That's very far-fetched. If no one was down to come with me, then I'd probably go in the last 6 months and just do it on my own with my dog. But in the time before that, I think I would keep doing what I'm doing right now because I'm pretty content with my life right now. But I would need to continue my source of income. But I think my mindset would probably change a little bit. I think I would become more focused on being present. But I don't think I would change anything too drastically because I kind of like the idea of not knowing where I'm going to go, but still trying to live as if it could be tomorrow in a couple hours, whatever. I don't like really living with regret at all, and I don't really like worrying about the future because it takes me out of the present. And I think I would take more risks. I would just do whatever seems fun. I would probably fall in love with someone too quickly. And I would definitely try to find how to get a car as cheaply and as quickly as possible. And then I would go on a lot more hikes with my dog. I think we would always be outside. Actually, maybe we go into a national park and I try to become a park ranger. That sounds pretty good. I think I would do that.
Unfortunately, my answer is I wouldn't do anything different. Every day, I try to live it to the fullest. Everything I do, from what I do for a living, I love. When I'm not here, I'm playing music, which I love. I also love traveling, which I do multiple times a year. I live with people I love. I hang out with people that I like all the time. So I don't think I would do very much.
I think about that every day. I am 76 years old. My life almost did end a couple of weeks ago. I almost accidentally drove off a cliff.
Oh my gosh.
Coming home from my
Really?
adjusting the air conditioning. Air conditioning can be dangerous. I looked up and there it was. I had to turn around real fast. So thank God I'm still here. Yes, what would I do? I would do exactly the same things I'm doing right now, except I would try to do them a lot faster. But I don't believe those prophecies about the world ending. I believe the world has ended several times before, and there's been other civilizations here and all kinds of stuff we have no idea about. But the fact is, the solution is always the same. The golden, unless I look at the camera.
Doesn't matter.
The golden rule is the solution. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. When we do that, we fix everything. But I have a personal guru. Say a faith. It's not a faith. I believe the things it says in that Bible that Jesus said. I do not believe the other things that other people said necessarily. Most of those I do not believe. I believe what he said when he talked about love and brotherhood and peace and understanding and respect. And those things make a difference. The other things, all that stuff about Adam and Eve, the end of the world, and how sinful we all are, that doesn't make a difference. It just makes people mean as can be. It makes them resentful. It makes them think they have to be uncomfortable to hang out with God. They have to hate themselves and some part of themselves. That's a death thing. It's not a life thing. I believe Jesus lived. I do not worship Jesus. I try not to. It's hard not to. But he himself said, "Why do you call me Lord? I call you my friends." And he said, "Why do you call me Lord? You don't do the things I say." Those are that love me are those that hear my words and do them. And his words are chiseled into my consciousness. They're beautiful. But you have to understand which things he did not teach. He did not teach Adam and Eve. He did not teach the blood doctrine that God has to shed his blood to pay for Adam's sin. He didn't teach anything about women being horrible and slaves having to obey their masters or having to obey the government or go to church or give money. All that stuff almost all of it came from Paul the Apostle. I am blaming one man, Paul the Apostle. He started this and his buddies continued it and the Romans got hold of it and they said, aha, we can control the people they don't do exactly what they say, exactly every time, and so that's how that started. It was about love, when the Beatles started singing, it was love, love, love. Love is all you need, and all those early songs, a lot of them were so fine, Carry on, my wayward son, there'll be peace when you are done. Where have you been, my blue-eyed son? Just beautiful. You might be the Prince of Peace returning. That is a dynamite idea. Because that's exactly what Jesus said. He didn't say worship me. He said you guys can do what I did and even greater things. I believe he said that. And so that changes the world. And as far as the end of the world thing, what have those prophecies done for us? Have they made us feel closer to God? After all, only 144,000 get to be lifted up. What about the rest of us? Those prophecies are deadly. They're evil. They make them think every woman is the whore of Babylon, and every person they see is the Antichrist. And, it's a very deadly thing. And I'm seeing it in action now. I'm seeing it. I think, with eyes that, make me sad from what I see. I see the media, and they keep accusing me of making something happen because I mention it and I talk about it. There's a name for that I call it the New Age jargon. And they'll be mad at me too. I've got almost everybody mad at me. No, I don't really. I've got a lot of people who really give me a lot of love. They tell me I help them. I help them telling them these things, They don't have to think God's a jerk that's going to punish them, torture them, and, that they're supposed to hate other people, or they have to build a special place and a special building to, that all gives power to individuals to rule over other individuals.
I would hop on a plane to Japan, and I would spend at least like a month or two there. I would use all my savings to put it down on some sort of house, either in this country or in Mexico, and I would try to grow my plants and leave some sort of legacy for whoever is coming after me. I don't think in 2 years I would have a child in that time, but I think that kind of having those roots would leave something. And this is me thinking of if I knew I was going to die, not necessarily if the world was ending. If I thought the world was ending in 2 years, I would still hop on a plane to Japan and stay there for 3 months. I would probably even try to learn Japanese. And then from there, I would also buy my house and just, be chilling. Probably wouldn't be working. Maybe I would try to make one more short film, but I wouldn't be working as much, and I wouldn't really care about trying to make income. I would just be using whatever I have in my savings. I don't know if I would do anything differently. I don't really live my life in regret like that. I feel like everything, I know this is very cheesy, but I do kind of feel like everything happens for a reason. There is one thing that I always think about, what if I would have stayed in Mexico City instead of moved back? That is something I think about a lot, but I don't necessarily regret moving back either, because I do really like being close to my family, and there's always something about California that just feels like home. But if I knew that the world was ending, I would probably buy my plot of land in near Mexico City or in Mexico City after going to Japan. Because I think that would make up for that question of what if I would have stayed longer.
Qué difícil pregunta. Nunca me había puesto a pensar. Creo que dejaría de estresarme tanto por cosas del futuro y solo siguiera enfocada en seguir disfrutando. Como, ok, se va a acabar. ¿Para qué voy a frustrarme? ¿Para qué voy a agobiarme? Al final se va a acabar, es mejor que se acabe yo siendo feliz. Creo que esa sería mi respuesta. No puedo pensar en algo más. Solo disfrutaría. Sí, solo disfrutaría. No me complicara. Al final se va a acabar.
I think my first steps of action. That's a good question. Like, what would I do differently? Is a specific way to ask. Because I feel like I already try to live my life with intention. But I think something I would do differently is live it with even more intention. I think I try to do a good job of communicating with people and keeping up with friends, with family, checking in with them. So I think that'd be my first course of action, would be like just connecting with the people that I love, maybe even people I've lost touch with that I feel is important to reconnect with. If there's any kind of relationships that have lost touch, I would want to like try to, if they're important to me, I would want to try to like fill that circle up again. I think I would make a list of all the places and all the things I've wanted to go and do and see. And also, do I get money? Like, or am I still like in the same financial position I'm in now? Because I'm like, I would have to find some kind of way to like make money or get money to be able to go do all these things that I would want to do on my list. So maybe if I needed to, if I was like on my own terms, on my own funds, I'd probably sell a lot of my possessions, because you can't take anything with you. And I would sell my possessions, and I think I would be really transparent. Like, if it was just my life that was ending in 2 years versus like everybody's, I think I would be really transparent with people. Like, I only have this much longer to live. I wouldn't be looking necessarily for empathy. I would be looking for like, or hoping for understanding of like maybe trying to get support from my community to like make these last years of my life the best as they can be. And I wouldn't expect for everyone to do like something about it, but I think it'd be important to be like, hey, I'm not going to be around for much longer, so like let's make the most of it. I also have these plans. These are things I want to do. If there's any kind of way that you can contribute, I'd appreciate that. If you want to go with me on this adventure, that sounds cool too. I'm also speaking as someone who doesn't physically have their child born yet, but I am currently pregnant. This child is coming within the next couple months. So trying to find a way to like make the most of the time that I have with my child while also not like stopping my life for them, including them in the journey, including them on the ride if I'm trying to travel or go do all these things that I've always wanted to do, like bringing my child along for that ride. I think I want to spend as much time as possible with my mom, with my partner, with my sister, and try to coordinate with them like how we can best spend this time together and maybe make some of these memories and share some of these memories together. But yeah, I would like to just travel, see things, meet new people. I think maybe I would also document as much as possible, like things that I've experienced, things that I've learned, wisdom and knowledge that I can share. Because time is limited, I would probably do like video or voice recordings. I think writing is beautiful, but writing takes time. And I would just want to, time is of the essence, so I'd want to make the most of my time. And maybe even just document along that time of all the things I'm doing, like also on video. I would try to get in touch more with my spirituality, and like I feel like I'm already in touch with it, but I think there's more to be done. There's always more to be done. I think I would talk to different pastors, rabbis, like whoever, just people in these different faiths, like different spiritual Buddhists, like, and just see what their insight is what they'd recommend and just kind of see what connects for me. But really just grounding myself and getting in touch with nature, like Mother Nature, and taking it back to like the basics. And enjoying it, just trying my best to like live in the moment. But I think I'd be at peace with it. I think I'm okay with it. Like, someone were to tell me that I only have 2 years to live, that's a pretty good chunk of time, and that's a pretty good advance notice. So I feel like I would make peace with it, or be able to make peace with it, and then just try my best to make the most of it. I think that's about it. Just do anything that I've ever wanted to do, and spend time with loved ones and with nature and travel and etc. Yeah, I think that's all you could do.
It's ironic to me that when we're given certainty and when death will appear, it changes the way people approach their lives, considering the fact that death could never guarantee us such a thing. If we knew we only had 2 years left to live, most people would change. But as we wake up each day and get on with our daily lives, the thought doesn't really seem to cross our minds. And honestly, I'm guilty of this too. I don't think I know a single person who isn't guilty of this. So there's clearly no shame in that. But, anyways, this wasn't just any question to me. And this wasn't just some shady prophecy I hyperfixated on. This was me finally giving myself permission to explore what my life could truly look like if I lived the way I dreamed of. The look in everyone's eyes when they spoke of all the things they would or wouldn't change, it completely revolutionized my perspective. It changed what I believe could be possible for myself. It changed this idea in me that I don't have to wait for the world to give me an expiration date in order to really start to live. And it reminded me yet again of how badly I just wish to stop surviving and to really begin to live consciously every day, truly be alive and remember that I'm alive, and to truly make the choices that feel right to me. This wasn't just a question, this was permission. And for a really long time, I avoided this. I avoided this idea and I neglected it. And it's crazy because it sparked such a big vortex inside of me. It sparked such a big fire in my heart, but it started to die down. It really did. Because I became complicit in this cycle of surviving again. And it wasn't until today, the last day of the year, that I realized it's my own fault. I'm the perpetrator. That the reason my dreams don't actually go into fruition is because I'm the one that won't let myself, because I don't believe in myself, because I don't give myself permission to. And so that's why this question was so important to me. That's why it was more than just an interview with people that I met. That's why it's more than just the Pope dying. That's why it's more than just, it's why it's more. It's more to me. I can't even begin to find the words. And in front of me, I have my laptop with a whole essay of what I want to say. And even with this in front of my face, I still can't find the words to say how much this is to me. Besides, it's me giving myself permission to really explore the depths of who I am. And now I finally have my answer. And now that I've admitted that I have a screen in front of me with what I want to say on it, don't mind if I look down and read from it. Because I really poured myself into this. And I just want to share. I just want to share it with the world, with my daughter, with anybody who cares to see this. But yeah, I finally have my answer. If the world ended in 2 years, I think I would try to live every day with intentionality. I'd give myself permission to be more human, make more mistakes, get swept up in the heat of the moment. I'd play more, I'd sing badly, I'd dance until my toes break. I'd cry more, allow closer connections, and let myself be the hopeless romantic I try not to be. I'd love like the strangers I admire and see, and then I'd love louder. I'd let myself feel my anger and my sadness in the way they demand to be set free. Then I'd laugh because it wouldn't even matter, anyways, because I know I'm dramatic, and I would embrace how dramatic I am at the end of the day. I'd let myself be more cathartic, more passionate, more serious about the way I'm meant to be. I'd say yes more, and I would say no more unwaveringly. I would believe in myself and what I'm capable of. I'd count the strands of my daughter's hair every night as she lays in the northwest pocket of my arm and my heart. I'd breathe deeply and remind myself of how miraculous each day is. I'd hold hands with my insecurities and tell them I was born to be free anyways. I'd take my boundaries more seriously, and I wouldn't let myself settle for anything less than what I deserved. No matter how difficult, I would always try to be honest and clear. I would break my own heart over and over again, and I'd pursue the insatiable fire in the depths of my being restlessly. And I'd chase it until the world itself burst into flames. I'd carry my daughter on my back no matter how many times my bones almost break. And I'd tell my brothers I love them. I'd swim in the middle of the ocean, letting the world remind me that I am nothing in comparison to what exists outside of me. And I'd be a lot more open about my relationship with the creator of our universe. I'd pray every day until my knees give in, and I'd respect the demands my body makes me. I'd be more vocal about the pain of my ancestors and those that continue on in our lineage. I'd run until my lungs can't breathe, and I'd let nothing in this world stop me. I'd walk afraid in the mountains, but I would push myself to do it anyways. I'd make a scrapbook of the way the stars looked every time my daughter and I embraced. I would hug my friends no matter how many times we go our separate ways. I'd tell my mother I'm sorry and that I've always loved her despite the wounds that tried to consume me. I'd forgive my father and ask him if he still has a room built for me in the place I've never known. I would try to find my home, my place in the world where I could finally breathe and live the way I dreamed of as an innocent kid. I'd live every day until there's no more days to live. That's what I would do if the world were to end in 2 years. And going into this next year, I think sincerely, I'm still gonna believe that the world is gonna end in 2 years. Even if it's not, I don't even care at this point. I'm going to live every day for the rest of my life now like there is no tomorrow. Because in reality, there might not be. So now that you know my answer, I want to know yours. And Sylvia, I hope that you have lived such a big life, and I hope, you know what, I don't even hope, because I know I'm going to witness just how much you live, how wildly you live. And I can't wait to see how far you go. And that's it. This is what I've been working on this past year, and you know what? I'm so glad I'm finally done with it, because now I can move on with my life and live the way I have declared I'm going to live. So, see you next time.